What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to NFL Turf Talk live here on DSM Media's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter channel. If you're new to the channel, head on over to @DSM_media on Twitter. You can hit that follow button and check out the link tree in our bio to take you to every social media platform we are available on. If you guys want to be interactive throughout today's show, head on over to the YouTube channel specifically. That's where we can pull up your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, all that good stuff. I am one half of your host, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter @DylanJD98. To my right, give my co-host Scotty a follow @ScottyDrowned. Scotty, you called me out on Twitter already, man, this morning, and it feels right. I need a wake-up call. I need to get back, but it's hard. It's hard, man. The last couple of weeks have been hard to get excited for not only our Eagles, but for football in general. Simply because our baseball team is tied 1-1 in the World Series currently. But I'm trying, man. I'm trying. So throughout the show, hopefully there's some things across the board that we can get into.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, I feel you, man. Especially coming off a loss last night. It was a tough one. Left some opportunities on the table there. If I can just share that little bit of light, obviously about game 2, we don't have to get too much into it, but I'm with you though, man. It's the same thing. Like the Sixers had a huge W last night against the Bulls on the road, and Embiid hits like a game clinching shot, right? Not talked about at all. It's just not the time for it, right? The Eagles, I feel a little bit more excited about, I would say, just because we are deeper into the season. Every game means a lot more in the NFL, but
for sure,
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I am happy to have Birds football back nonetheless, though, just because
especially
no
on
Phillies game today.
especially on an off day. And then obviously we here know, and I'm sure everybody knows how the schedule just lined up so perfectly for Phillies off day, but Eagles. Phillies off day, but Eagles. So it's working out pretty good for us right now in Philadelphia. But with that being said, there is a game on right now. Denver and Jacksonville. I don't know how many times the NFL wants to force the Denver Broncos down our throats, but they're losing currently 7-0 to the Jags in the second quarter. The Jags are also in the red zone with the 7-point lead. Russ already threw a pick. Russ has like 19 passing yards through a quarter and a couple minutes in. It's rough there, but I don't even want to talk about that. I want to start with the Thursday night football game that we previewed earlier on the week. And it was one of the bigger Thursday night matchups. I think what you said about the Eagles is a good talking point for this Bucs-Ravens game, because it is getting, to the midway part of the season. Every game, every loss, every win does mean a little bit more at this point. You had the Ravens. I thought that Tom Brady would finally get it together at home on primetime football. And they didn't. The Ravens come away with a win. Tom and the offense, the first offensive possession, they march right down the field, punch it in. They score Leonard Fournette. Okay, maybe they're turning things around. They had a couple red zone trips, Scotty. Every time that team gets into the red zone, from what I can see, it's struggle city. Yeah. They cannot punch the ball across the goal line, and reversely, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens were able to move the ball. Mark Andrews gets hurt, but it really didn't slow them down that much. Ravens come away with a win. So what did this game show you? What did this game tell you as the Buccaneers continue to just slide down into worry?
Yeah, it's something that I mentioned to you on Thursday, and I'll be honest, I was at a concert. I didn't catch a ton of this game. Obviously, I can go by the box score, but I won't make any overly aggressive judgments on the Bucs or the Ravens about this game. But what I'll say just holistically, it doesn't matter how desperate the Bucs are. That's not going to be enough for them to get a win. It doesn't matter how angry Tom Brady is that he's losing. It's not going to be enough for the Bucs to win. And that's kind of the worry for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for me going forward, is that, in situations like this before, they've been questioned before. That there's been games in past seasons where they've lost to like the New Orleans Saints twice, and everybody's throwing questions. Are they not tough enough? And they answer the call, right? They're not answering the call right now. That phone keeps ringing. And that's the biggest worry for me. Defense, you gave up 27 points to Baltimore on a night you're in Tampa Bay. I know Baltimore has it's a good offense, right? They haven't been the best over the last few weeks, but it's still Lamar Jackson in this offense. You got to do better than that, right? In a game that you need less than 27 points. 22 points, I would say, with the Tampa Bay's defense at the level that it's been in previous seasons, that would be enough to beat the Ravens. Wasn't enough in this game, wasn't enough at home. And I'm worried for the Bucs. Obviously we'll dive into them a lot deeper as the season goes on, but you're talking about them. If Carolina beats Atlanta today, they're in a 3-way tie for first place at 3-5.
Right, and if Atlanta beats Carolina, Atlanta takes the throne right now for the time being.
Absolutely.
And we can continue to laugh at that, right? All we want. The bottom line is Tampa Bay has shown you nothing to buy into them. They've shown you nothing to be like to sit here and mock the idea that another team who we view as a bad team, Carolina. Carolina's not good. Carolina's kind of excluded, but possibly Atlanta. The Saints continue to get in their own way. They're battling a lot of injuries, but now there's a window of opportunity there for them because of how bad Tampa Bay's been. And Scotty, it comes back to execution, but also play calling. Man, what did we talk about on the preview show for this game? With Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, same boat. They threw the ball 44 times to 13 runs.
9 carries for Leonard Fournette after he scores a touchdown on the opening drive. That makes
4 for Rashad White. Make sense, man. And you can look at the final score and you can look at how the game played out. It was never away. Scotty, they had a lead in the first half. They were winning at halftime. So not only did they weren't coming from behind, they weren't down 21-3, nothing like that where you have to abandon the run. They had a lead for over a half of the football game, and the pass to run ratio was 44-13 at home. That's is inexcusable. And I don't know I don't know why people aren't talking about it, but listen, it's not box score watching. It's pointing out a fact.
Yeah.
So whoever's calling plays, whatever the issue is in Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, they have about 2 weeks to figure their shit out, Scotty.
They are
1 or 2 losses away in the near future from being out of the playoff picture.
And they go on the road, I believe, next week and take on the Rams. So I mean, the Rams,
you're right.
We'll see what the Rams look like today against San Fran, but this is another team that you would put in the desperate category as far as the LA Rams trying to get on track. And there's not going to be there's no opening for Tampa Bay to just get a layup, right? There's nothing. And
then they lose the linebacker for the season as well.
Yeah. The Steelers game was their layup, right? The Carolina game was their layup, and they missed them.
They blew both.
And now they're in this situation. Right. I don't know. It's grim for the Bucs, but at the same time, you're still right there in the division chase. Mm-hmm. So it's not that grim, but it's just been a really, really bad
though, because the idea of this Bucs team was supposed to be that there was no you're in the race. It was supposed to be this is your division.
Yeah.
There is not a 1B. There's not a second up. There's not. It is Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta. And instead, like you just pointed out, it's either going to be Atlanta in first, or if Carolina wins, say, a 3-way tie 8 weeks into the season. The midway point, basically. This isn't week 3, week 4, week 5. This is through week 8 now. So you're right. Things get a lot more stiff. Things get a lot tougher now once you hit this midway point. And Tampa Bay, I don't know, man. There's not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel for them. And I feel bad because this segment, we really didn't talk about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And it's a good win for them. Short week to go on the road and beat this team that was desperate, that does have Tom Brady. They went in and did their job. Obviously, Gus Edwards was banged up again throughout the game. Mark Andrews banged up, leaves for the rest of the game. So they weren't even fully healthy, and they still found a way to win that ball game. So props to the Baltimore Ravens, and helps them obviously now with Jamar Chase being out in Cincinnati. He's not going on the IR. That's some news here. I guess they're hoping for a speedy, maybe 2-3 weeks possibly, instead of a month or so more missed.
It's like a hip injury or something.
Yeah, so we'll see how the situation since he plays out. But with the Baltimore win, with the Browns struggling, and Baltimore already beat Cleveland. They already beat Cincy. So their division record's looking very good tiebreaker wise. So Baltimore's on the up. Bucks are trending down. Scotty, let's get to today's slate. I'm just looking at this slate, and this one this week is a lot better than the previous 2 weeks. The previous 2 weeks were not only difficult to pick, there was a lot of bad football games across the board.
Absolutely.
The past 2 Sundays. This one, Carolina Atlanta, is not a good game. I don't think you could pay me to watch it. But like you said, in the NFC South, there's a lot riding on this game.
Yeah.
Then you get to Miami, Detroit is somewhat interesting. Arizona, Minnesota, Vegas. No, none of these games are great. There's no really good football games. You got San Fran and LA. You got the Giants, 6-1 Giants, 4-3 Seattle. Sunday Night Football, you got Aaron Rodgers, the first time he's a double-digit underdog in his entire career, taking on Josh Allen tonight. So there's games across the board. Where do your eyes go on this slate?
Yeah, so I'll start with the 1 o'clock slate because I would say the San Fran and Rams game is the game of the week as far as like the daytime slates this week. So I'll go there when we get to 425 slate. But as far as this early afternoon slate, one interesting game I'm looking at, and I'll just start here because there's a couple interesting storylines. It's not that these are, the games of the week, like you said. They're just interesting for those said teams involved in the game. But nonetheless, Arizona at Minnesota is interesting to me because I've had a lot. I put my power rankings out there. I had Minnesota, I believe, number 5 on the power rankings.
Yeah.
They're 5-1.
Me too.
And I got a little bit of pushback regarding Minnesota. They haven't played anybody. They've had a bunch of close wins against bad teams. And so I went and took a look at it, obviously looked at the numbers with Arizona as well. They're both right around the same area as far as all their rankings: offense, defense, passing, rushing. They're virtually in the middle of the pack. Arizona and Minnesota. Minnesota comes in as 3.5-point favorites. And one thing that also was pointed out, I've read in an article, I believe it was on ESPN, Vikings have been terrible against mobile quarterbacks this season. Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts. Now, Justin Fields didn't get the W, but they did push a comeback. They almost beat the Minnesota Vikings. And Jalen Hurts obviously had a field day against them. I'm interested to see what Kyler Murray can do once again with DeAndre Hopkins. They were able to put up 30-plus points against the Saints. I know the Saints aren't really that good of a team right now, but it was still a positive to see the Cardinals offense moving like a well-oiled machine. Now they did get 2 interception pick sixes, I believe. So you got to count that in. But I'm interested to see if Arizona can turn the page. D-Hop's back. You get James Conner back maybe next week, get healthy there. But can they turn the page and become a decent or good football team again, like they showed early on last season? I'm just interested to see because Minnesota is a good opportunity. While 5-1, they're a little bit better than the Giants to me, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
As far as like their ceiling.
Right.
But
more talent offensively.
At the same time, they're kind of in the same field as they could easily not be where they are right now if just a few things went differently. So I'm interested to see if Arizona can pull off an upset there.
Right. Minnesota is higher in the power rankings, basically out of necessity. When you're 5-1, you got to have some respect put on your name. But at the same time, do I view them as the 5th best team in the league? No, I don't.
Right.
Do I view the Giants as the 4th best team in the league? No, I don't. But that's where we're at in terms of power rankings. A quick update. The Jags are back on the red zone, 7-0, 8:46 to go in the second quarter there. That is an interesting game in the 1 o'clock. The 1 o'clock part of today, because, Kyler Murray, as bad as the Cardinals season has seemed so far, the Cardinals have an opportunity to get back to 500 ball in a division that isn't, no one's running away with it. The Rams up and down, 49ers get blasted last week by Kansas City. They're up and down. You have the Seahawks who are 4-3, who I believe are technically in first place at the moment.
Yeah.
What's going on, Philly? Kyle, how's it going? Go Birds, go Sixers.
Thanks for checking in,
Titans. So that is an interesting game. Vegas, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Has potential to be very ugly, but also has the potential to put up a lot of points, as you saw with New Orleans and Arizona last week. Vegas has the same kind of offense that can put up a ton of points any given week. This one is more so on the Raiders side for me, though, because you look at all the injuries across the board for New Orleans. You look at no Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry, obviously still Andy Dalton playing quarterback. I forget if I saw that Marshawn Lattimore still out for them defensively, but they're missing some pieces on the defensive side of the ball too. I know Devontae Adams is questionable. I believe he's supposed to play. This to me is a game where I need Vegas. If there's any life for the rest of the season, if there's any future for the rest of the season in terms of making a wild card, whatever, this has to be a W today for them.
Yeah,
I know it's in
absolutely.
New Orleans. New Orleans is so beat up. It's still Andy Dalton. You come in fully healthy with that pass rush, with Devontae Adams playing, you need to win this game. So Derek Carr, eyes are on him today. Can he play a clean game? Can he not turn the ball over?
Yeah.
Can they score when they get in the red zone? How do they utilize Josh Jacobs? The last 2 or 3 weeks, dude, they've pounded the rock. Josh Jacobs has had a career year over the last 2 or 3 weeks. That should help Derek Carr. It should take, less mistakes, less opportunity to turn the ball over, and then he can pick his spots down the field, use that play action to from the run, opening things up. We'll see if they do that or not, but that's definitely a game I'm keeping my eye on today. And then I'll throw this one at you. So thoughts on that game? The Jets, New England?
Yeah. That was the other one I was looking at.
Somehow, Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, I believe, is starting again. We'll see if he play. I'm pretty sure that was the plan this week, that he was QB1 in practice throughout the week. So
they should. I don't know. Yeah, that's such a confusing situation. What were you gonna say though? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just gonna is that a game you're looking at? Because it shouldn't be, but it is.
It is. I'm not looking at it for the Patriots. I'm looking at it for the Jets. It's one of those. It's one of those milestones, right? It's like a breaking of passage. I forget what that's called in sociology. A rite of passage for the Jets in this season. Go towards a winning season. They need to take care of the Patriots at home. It's Bill Belichick, right? Get the 6-2. It's a huge game for the Jets. Zach Wilson still worries me as I was looking into this game this morning,
especially against Bill.
I know that is my biggest thing today. You lost Breece Hall, so you can't lean there. Michael Carter is solid. They got James Robinson in the trade as well. But Breece Hall hurts. I was looking at the stats today, and Joe Flacco still has more passing yards than Zach Wilson.
It's sad.
He started 3 games. Zach Wilson has now started 4 games.
This will be his 5th, yeah.
Yeah, this will be his 5th start. So, and he still has less passing yards than Joe Flacco right now. It's going to come down to Zach Wilson, right? Is he going to turn the ball over? That's what it comes down to. I think the Jets defense should be pretty stout today. And I know as soon as I say that, the Patriots will go and drop 25 plus on them. So
somehow
there's something off about this Patriots team. You pick them, they lose. You don't pick them, they win. So I'm not going to go out too far and just say the Jets are going to dominate this game. I do think the Jets win this game, though. I will say that. But I do look at it as a rite of passage, and I did peep some of Jets Twitter somehow. Ooh. I don't know how I got into Jets Twitter.
Okay. But I saw,
I got in the rabbit hole, and I saw a bunch of Jets fans saying please just get the W. This is what we need. It's the next step in our progression. And it's weird because they have this interesting relationship with Bills fans, because I guess they play Buffalo next week, I think.
Okay.
And so they're we got to get this W against New England, and Buffalo fans are no, you can't get it because we don't want you to be close to us. And then there was this realization point where Jets fans were well, we're not competing with Buffalo. We're just trying to get second place. And it was just accepting your place behind.
Yeah.
It was kind of awesome to see that reality, because that's kind of authentic. The Bucks are the Bills are on a different level there. But the Jets, I'm almost rooting for them. Almost. I don't, I kind of feel bad.
But I don't want
Jets
to.
Fan. I don't want to, though.
Because here's the problem. I can admit when I'm wrong, but I don't like being wrong.
Right.
And when I thought the Jets were going to be, they had some upside, the youthfulness on the offense. They bolstered the defensive line a little bit. I thought they'd be fun. I said in the beginning of the season, I thought they'd be fun to watch, but I still didn't think they were going to be a good team. I didn't think they knew how to win games, etc. And then Robert Saleh comes out and says he's keeping receipts, and that pissed me off, because at that point he was 1-1 or 1-2, whatever the case was, and I'm shut up, your team stinks, shut your mouth. And now here they are, 5-2, with a great chance to go 6-2 at home today, and it's I was wrong. He has the receipts. but I'm kind of rooting for them.
I feel you.
I don't know. And I'm rooting for them today because you know my history this season betting with or against New England. They have literally taken it to me every single time, whatever side of the line I'm on. They do the opposite of what I need in great fashion. It's not close. It's not a last-minute cover or non-cover. It is a beatdown one way or the other, whatever side I have New England on this year. So I hope they get their asses kicked today. But it will be interesting simply for the fact that Zach Wilson has struggled.
Yeah.
The Jets have won games based on defense and Breece Hall standing out. And now you get the defensive-minded genius that is Bill Belichick that just takes pieces away from the opposing game plan and doesn't allow there's no way Zach Wilson doesn't turn the ball over today, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. That's
at
my
least
thing.
2 times. There's a pick and a fumble. There's 2 picks. There's something.
That.
Possibly a pick 6. I don't know. But Zach Wilson's definitely turning the football over today. If he doesn't,
I appreciate that. Yeah, he will. He will.
If he doesn't, the Jets win easily. They're coasting to a victory if he doesn't turn the ball over.
My only thing is Mac Jones going to turn the ball over as well. You know what I mean? That's where it balances out, and maybe it goes to the Jets'
strip
way.
sack, something like that. Hey, Mac, when we slide, I believe it was Mac, not Zappy from last week's game. I think it was Mac Jones. When we slide feet first, let's not try to kick defenders while we're coming through the way here. Okay, let's try that, bud. Maybe that's why you got sidelined. When we're throwing the ball away, let's not aim for the cable line, for the power line of the camera that's going over the field.
You can literally just throw it up. It's like if you're throwing it away,
and I think that's another thing. I think my disdain for the Jets when I thought they would be bad has now shifted, not only because New England screws me over, but also for their fan base, because they don't know what this fan base has no idea what it's like to not be good. They've been spoiled for 2 decades of winning football and championships and playoff appearances, division titles, etc. And now it's like at the first sign of struggle, you're just turning your back on your quarter. Like, guys, it's Bailey Zappi. Are we joking? And then the whole crowd's chanting from the play last week against the Bears because Mac Jones throws an interception off the line. Like, spoiled, rotten SOB. Bailey Zappi, stop it. This is worse than Cooper Rush.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. New York Jets fans, I would just like them to get to experience that 6-2, have a real nice winning record.
Don't get me wrong. The Jets had some winning going on when I was younger. The Jets made a lot of AFC championship games, just could never beat.
They did. They had that was with Rex Ryan, right? They had a really good defense. Really good defense.
They were always good. Yep. But they could never beat Bill, man.
How do you feel about this Dallas-Chicago game? Now, I think Dallas will win, but a 10-point spread? Are you feeling that? 10 points?
No Zeke, which I don't think hinders them too much, but it'll be interesting, like how much does Pollard get used today, right? And because who's the second back? Does Pollard get used like a workhorse today? Does McCarthy take this as an opportunity to just throw because they don't have their, RB1 in the room today? I don't know. It'll be interesting. The Bears aren't good, Scott. They're really not. And it's they just beat the shit out of New England. So to think that they're going to compete again for a second straight week on a short week, 6 days rest. It is I don't know if Dallas should be favored by 10 points, but this could definitely be like a 14, 15-point win.
That's fair. If Dallas gets it going, I guess that's
offensively,
if that can shake off that rust, right? That's
what is Justin Fields supposed to do against this defense today?
I know. See, that's the weird part. I know. I'm not saying Justin Fields is good. He's just a mobile quarterback, and so that just makes it a little awkward for me as far as that matchup with that defense.
Right. The pass rush can't pin their ears back and just
exactly. Do they have an offensive system that they can run similar to what the Eagles did with the RPO? They don't really have that, so it's not fair to make that same comparison. But it's an awkward matchup. But 10-point spread just seemed a little. It is at home though. They're 5-2. I guess that's fair enough. Bears haven't been good. They just coming off that Monday night win. It's just weird with the Bears right now, but maybe the Pats are just really bad.
A little bit
Malik
of both.
Willis
A
getting the
little bit of
start
both.
in
Yes,
Tennessee,
sir.
man.
Let's get to
How
that
about
one.
that?
So, man, this game's weird to me, dude, because I think the Texans. And I'm not a Ryan Tannehill guy, but if he was playing, I would have picked Tennessee by 11. Like, I think the Texans get run through today. I think Derrick Henry pounds the rock on them. Who knows what Malik Willis? He has the big arm. He has the big play factor. It'll be interesting to see if they can move the ball with him, or do they just strictly rely on Henry for 32 carries? I don't know. I still like Tennessee to win this game. Yeah. But definitely I shouldn't say it makes it closer, because Malik Willis could open something up in the passing game that Tannehill can't. And
the same thing we were looking at. The same thing we were looking at as far as Trey Lance versus Jimmy G is kind of in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. So like losing Tannehill and having the rookie making his first start makes you want to say it makes them worse, but it could theoretically make them better with his big arm. But I do like the Titans. I think the Texans are bad, man.
I'm with you. I like the Titans in this one too. And I did.
Remember when
I did
people
look
told me
up.
that Davis Mills was a good quarterback?
Yeah, missed me with that. They're dead last in run defense as well, so that's the other factor there with the Houston Texans. I would lean Tennessee, although it looks like it's even spread right now,
which is ridiculous to me. So I might hop all over Tennessee later. What's going on?
I actually did.
All right, man. Let's get to one more pit stop before we get to this game of the week. Washington, Indianapolis.
How do you feel about this?
Taylor Heineke, obviously, for the injured Wentz. Sam Ehlinger gets his first start. He's slated to start the rest of the season for Indy. I think it's a dumpster fire in Indianapolis, man. Like, I think you could see a GM be fired, possibly. I think you could see Frank Reich on the hot seat getting sent out. Like, at the end of the day, who do you put the most blame on in Indianapolis? Now, they are 3-1. So a win today, they still have a chance, with especially if Houston could beat Tennessee. They're right back in that division race. But so much turnover over the last 6-7 years, ever since Andrew Luck retired early. And you have the Wentz, you bring in Wentz, you make the trade for him, and you think that solves your problems, and then you kind of make him the scapegoat at the end of last season, not making the playoffs in Jacksonville. You move on from him. You trade for Matt Ryan. This is our savior. He's, it's going to be the difference maker on our team. 7 weeks in, Matt Ryan's getting the bench.
Yeah.
Who's to blame? Because that's not Frank Reich's fault.
Right.
But it is Frank Reich's fault for not getting the most out of his team on game day. But it's not Frank Reich didn't handpick, I'm sure, Matt Ryan. I would think.
I'll be honest with you, Dylan. I think at this point we have to look even higher than the coach, and we have to look up at Irsay and all of this, talking that comes from ownership. That just isn't how things should be ran.
That just completely threw Carson Wentz under the bus.
Carson Wentz under the bus. That's not how you treat a quarterback. It doesn't matter if you're moving on or not. That's just not how. That's not professional. And the main thing that I think where the organization has failed, and they're trying to turn the page and go towards the right direction now with Sam Ehlinger. But you just have a quarterback in and out every single year. It's a rotating door of quarterbacks each and every year. You started with Phillip Rivers, I believe, after Andrew Luck retires. Then it's, Carson Wentz. And then and you just keep going down the line. How can anybody build chemistry within an offense if it's a new guy every single season? Frank Reich as well. How do you? Yeah. It's Irsay. I agree. I agree, man. It's concerning, man, for Indy, because they've had this core that we thought was ready for contention, and maybe that's where we were wrong. But I would say the organization has been wrong in that fact as well, because they just keep on trying to just replace a quarterback. So I think, you've made the first mistake throwing Carson Wentz under the bus. He looked better than he did in DC. He looked better in Indy than he did in DC this year so far. And Indy looked better with Carson Wentz than what they've looked with Matt Ryan so far. Right. So that was an obvious mistake, in my opinion, moving on from Carson Wentz. You made an investment. why move on that quick? We can't speak to what goes on in the locker room.
But now you did the same thing for Ryan, right? Now I know he's battling the injury, so that has something to do with this week's benching. But apparently, even without an injury, the plan is to go to Ellinger, and it's like, man, they're quick to pull the trigger in Indy, dude, and that could be part of the problem as well. You can't get any chemistry down, and not to mention like they're 3-3-1s. They started out 1-2-1.
And they're passing the ball like
2-1 over the last 3 weeks. They beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. Like, I'm confused how they went down this hole of like, why was this the time to say Ryan's done for the year? We're going to the I don't know.
That's the part that's confusing. It's going to be funny because they're going to work with the backup quarterback syndrome, and they're going to run the football first, and they'll all of a sudden turn into a good football team again.
Yeah, right.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's just, I don't know why NFL teams do this. Like, Matt Ryan was throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game. That's not what the Colts offense is about. Now I get it.
And then today, Jonathan Taylor will get the ball 32 times.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's
what
it should have been.
Why was there no happy medium when Ryan was playing? I'm not saying Taylor should get the ball 30 times when Ryan's playing. 24 times, 25
it's the same thing
carries
with the team
they're
Jonathan playing
Taylor?
Against as well. It's the same thing with the team they're playing against today as well, with Taylor Heineke and that run game, and the way Ron Rivera switches up whenever Taylor Heineke comes in. He starts running the ball.
Makes zero sense to me, man.
Like,
zero effing sense.
Who do you have winning this game?
Oddly enough, I think Washington.
I do too, man.
I am not touching this game. I will tell you that right now. Not touching it. I would advise everyone not to touch it. I have no idea what to expect out of Sam Ellinger. And part of my issue with Indianapolis, whether it was with Phillip Rivers, with Carson Wentz, now this year with Matt Ryan, is you know how I feel about their skill position players. Michael Pittman Jr. to me is not a wide receiver one in this league. And then you get past him, and I don't know if you have a wide Alec Pierce, Mo Alley Cox. Are you joking with these wide receivers and tight end room you have? Like it's piss poor. So like Sam Ellinger, like what am I supposed to expect out of him with a lack of weapons around him? Unless they do give Jonathan Taylor the ball 35 times today, and he breaks off for 180.
Apparently, he's more of like I don't want to say like a mobile quarterback, but he can move a little bit better. Yeah, he can move a little bit better than Ryan, of course. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I would go with Commanders just based off what I know, right? Yeah. Ellinger, he's an unknown right now.
For sure. All right. Actually, I'm sorry. We missed a game here. The New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks, 6-1 versus 4-3. Talk to me about this one, man, because this one's very interesting. We here as Eagles fans, I just like the Heisman, man. Just get off of me, New York. Like we have a chance to be 7-0, and they're just still a half a game behind us, not going away anywhere. But then you have Seattle, who Scotty, I thought was going to be a bottom 3 team. I'm not kidding, a bottom 3 team this year. Geno Smith is playing better football than Russell Wilson. They continue to find ways to win, and they're sitting atop that tough-ass division in the NFC West, who no one's pulling away. So it's not just they're 4-3. It's not like, they're 6-1 like the Giants are, and they're dominating their division. But nonetheless, they're in the conversation at the top of it right now.
Yeah.
It's in Seattle. Who wins this one?
This one's a tough one. This is a tough pick, man. I'll be honest, because at this point, and I hate the way it sounds with the Giants record, but I look at the Giants in Seattle in a similar light. Geno Smith has been playing out of his mind, man. And this is such a big game for both sides. As you mentioned, the Giants are trying to keep pace with Philly, trying to stay ahead of Dallas. Seattle, if they can win this game, go 5-3, it doesn't matter what happens in LA today with San Fran and the Rams. They'll remain in the front. So it's a huge game for Seattle at home. You got the 12th man. You're looking at the Giants. They have all 6 of their wins have been decided by 8 points or less, so all of them are close. They're playing close games, and they're pulling them out. That does build good tendencies towards winning. Yeah. I will say that. Yeah, character is a good way to put that. I think this one comes down to Geno, Daniel Jones. Who's going to make the mistakes, right? Who's going to turn the ball over? Is Daniel Jones has been playing some really clean football. Geno Smith has also been playing some really clean football.
Yeah.
Who's going to turn the ball over? This one is tough. Seattle is a 3-point favorite. I'm rooting for Seattle. Obviously, I want Seattle to win this game a lot. I want them to win it really bad because I don't know.
Get the hell away from me.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of the Giants' schedule looks like until they play us, so I would like to create some separation there. But this one's a tough one. Giants have been playing everybody tough. I am going to go with Seattle at home. I think if they want to prove that they're a legitimate team, a good win against the Giants. And I don't think that this would be a terrible loss for the Giants,
No,
but
but
it's also it would reaffirm our thoughts of them as kind of not a
how
real
real are you?
contender, right?
Yeah.
Like it would reaffirm that. So it is a big game nonetheless for the Giants, for the Seahawks. You get this win on the road against the Seahawks. That's a solid win. I wouldn't call it a bad loss, but it's not a good loss either. There's never a good loss, let's be honest. I'm going to go with Seattle, gut feeling here at home. That's where I'm leaning. I would honestly call it a pick'em game if it was on a neutral field.
Yeah. This game to me is 110% about New York's defense. I love, not that I love as an Eagles fan, but as a football fan, as doing this, I love what Brian Dable has brought to. Like it's cool to watch, man. Just
culture.
the culture he's brought in, the character that they've been building. To see Saquon bounce back the way that he has, I talked about. I don't think Daniel Jones is a very good quarterback, Scotty. You know that. I think you agree with that statement. But all these top quarterbacks, all these goats that we think of, we look at it in Aaron Rodgers with the lack of weapons, and we give them that pass. Daniel Jones has worse receiving options than any of those quarterbacks, and he's still finding ways to win. He's not turning the ball over right now. He's playing very good. To me, I haven't seen New York. Now, I know against Green Bay, they scored in the high 20s or whatever. Baltimore, I think they scored mid to high 20s. I haven't seen New York get into that 30-plus range yet this year. I don't know if their offense is built for that, especially on the road across the country. I've seen Geno and the Seahawks, even in losses, get to 35, 37, 38-point range.
Yeah.
So if the Giants defense can't keep Seattle to the low to mid 20s, Seattle's going to win this game. If Seattle can get to 27, 28 plus, especially into that 30-point area, Seattle will come away with a win.
Yeah.
I think they will, man. Which quarterback turns the ball over today? Which quarterback do we still not buy into? Because I don't buy into either one.
I know.
Seattle has the better weapons. Right. Which quarterback shows us their true colors today?
Because you look at Seattle, they have DK, I believe, is going to be in, even though he was questionable coming into this game. I know he had what looked to be a serious injury last week, but it was kind of they've been talking about it all week, how it's kind of amazing how he's kind of recovering so quick and potentially could be out there.
So Tyler Lockett is questionable with a hamstring, and DK is questionable with a knee.
Okay,
I would put money on the fact that they both play.
They need this game. If they can go, they're going to go. And I would say at that point, the Seattle Seahawks have better weapons, obviously. And then Kenneth Walker, he went off last week as well. He's a nice rookie running back there, young, spry. So it's going to be a close one, I think. And I do like your point about high scoring because Seattle can get into those numbers, whereas we got to see that from the Giants. If Seattle's able to stop the run today, if you're able. That's a big ask against Saquon Barkley. I understand that. If they're able to stop the run, what can Daniel Jones do through the air? We still haven't seen it yet. And, what the Giants kind of remind me of this year is a version of the Eagles offense last year where, they were really run heavy. Jalen Hurts run, Miles Sanders run, running back committee. But then in the little moments, if Daniel Jones can make a play, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. I look at him in the same light as the Eagles last year, as kind of that one-dimensional, but you have a really good mobile quarterback that can use his legs and make the occasional short throw to get you a nice first down, get out of trouble. But I'm leaning Seattle in this one. We'll see what the Giants are made of on the road, though. I will say that.
I agree. Real quick, just a side note here for Eagles fans. Yeah. So you know how Devontae Smith loves Wawa?
Yeah.
Like he's just always talking about Wawa and how he's eating at Wawa. The Eagles social media team just put up a picture of his jersey with the pads at the top of his locker for Devontae Smith. And then they scroll down and it's in his locker is hanging a Schwarberfest t-shirt.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
He's nuts.
That makes sense.
He's always at Wawa. All right, moving on
All our
to what we would
McDonald's.
consider the game of the week before we get into this final Sunday night matchup. San Fran versus the Rams. 3-4 versus 3-3 in LA. Fox game of the week, NFC West. This one's so tough. You know why? Because
I'm
I
with
have
you.
no idea what to
I didn't
expect
write
from
down a
either
winner.
side. I have no idea what to expect from either side of this matchup. Now, we know the track record. San Fran has played LA up into the NFC Championship game last year incredibly well. They already beat them this year. Regular season last year, I believe they were 2-0 against the Rams. The year before that, they were very good against the Rams. Jimmy G plays well against the Rams. The whole team does. I have not checked. I probably should have. How banged up San Fran's defense is heading into this one. Christian McCaffrey gets more implemented into this one. Let's see. No Kyle Juszczyk in this one. Jason Verrett, questionable. Arik Armstead, out. Oh, that's right. Debo's out. I forgot about that. Drake Greenlaw out. Javon Kinlaw out.
God,
I'm leaning Rams,
man.
I'm leaning Rams, and here's why. There's just too many injuries and that Debo injury, I think, crushes San Fran's plans offensively. And no Juszczyk. I don't know where Jimmy G goes through the air in this one. And at the end of the day, before the season started, I had a lot of faith in this Rams team. They're coming off a bye week, Scotty. This is the time. At home, division rival. This team has given you fits for the last couple of seasons. It's time for Matthew Stafford to show up. It's time for, Sean McVay to figure things out. This defense. If you were the Rams defense, you cannot allow the 49ers to move the ball down the field on you. Like, what are you doing offensively without Debo? He is the focal point. Is Brandon Ayuk going for 110 today?
Speed up that CMC process, man.
CMC process. You better stack the box then if you're LA. I like the Rams simply because of all the injuries on both sides of the ball for the 49ers. The Rams are healthy coming out of a bye. I think that Stafford has a good game. Could prove me wrong, but I'll go with the Rams.
Yeah, this one was tough. I honestly didn't write down a winner coming into the show because I was going to kind of listen and talk with you and decide who I want or who I think is going to win, not who I want to win. I actually don't care. But, man, the Rams off a bye, that's the big thing for the Rams for me. Like, how do they respond off the bye? Are they going to be well prepared, ready to go? Because that's what they should be. They should be desperate, ready to turn the page after the bye and get on a new track here. 7 regular season losses to San Fran in a row, right? It's 7-game losing streak in the regular season to San Fran. That worries me a little bit, not because, history has an effect, but it is an overwhelming feeling of pressure to try to get that first win after losing so many in a row. San Fran's coming off an ass whooping, right? They got their ass whooped by Kansas City in that second half. This one is super tough, man. But I will say the injuries on the 49ers side creates a lot more doubt for them than I have for the Rams. And I'm with you. In my mind, I feel the same way about both teams in this aspect. They're going to turn it around at some point. I don't look at these teams like I look at the Bucs or the Packers. I think these teams do have a light at the end of the tunnel that they can turn it around. Rams, I think it starts now. 49ers, it may be a little bit down the line, maybe next week, Right. But I do think I'm going to go with the Rams here. It's going to come down to turnovers, though. Who's going to turn the ball over, Jimmy G or Matthew Stafford once again? I'm going to lean Matthew Stafford today, has the better game than Jimmy G. He has his weapons. Jimmy G does not have his main receiver in Debo. We'll see, though. We'll see. San Fran always surprises us, in LA Rams. I'm waiting for them to get on track, man. I'm waiting for them to look like the defending Super Bowl champions. Maybe today's that day.
I agree with you. Last game on this Sunday slate, Sunday Night Football in Buffalo, the 3-4 Packers on a 3-game skid heading into Bills Mafia. First time Aaron Rodgers has been a double-point dog in his life. I don't know what the lines moved to, Scott. Is it still sitting at around 11?
I saw 10.5 this morning.
10.5.
So I don't know if that has changed at all.
So obviously, with the inconsistent up and down weirdness to this season,
Yeah.
It would just be so on time and so ironic for Aaron Rodgers and this offense to wake up and show up, and if not win this game, lose by a last possession, field goal in Buffalo, something like that. I can't, in my right mind, make that prediction.
No.
This could be, which sounds crazy with these two quarterbacks dueling, this could be the largest score differential of the day. This could be an utter ass whooping tonight in Buffalo. And if you're Josh Allen, listen, I know people are thinking, oh, Rodgers, he's pissed off. He's got to show up.
I get it.
They need to get things right. Dude, if you're Buffalo, if you're Josh Allen is looking at this matchup. He knows what Aaron Rodgers is in this league. He's ready to put his stamp on. He's already taken down Mahomes, right? He wants to ball out tonight and beat the shit out of Aaron Rodgers across from him.
Yeah.
The Bills might win by 17 or more.
This isn't Aaron Rodgers like the demon, the MVP candidate. This isn't
Scotty,
Aaron Rodgers.
That would have come out.
Adams.
That should have come out 2 weeks ago. If this was the old Aaron Rodgers, if they had what the demon Aaron Rodgers would have shown up 2 weeks ago. He's not just appearing tonight.
Yeah, not against what I have as the best team in the NFL. It's not going to happen. I think the Bills smoked the Green Bay Packers tonight. I've seen a lot of people picking the Packers to cover, the Packers to upset. I don't see it, man. When you have Aaron Rodgers on the sideline and he's not in that demon mode, he's looking vulnerable. All that is motivation. You want to kick him while he's down, and that's how I'm looking at it if I'm the Buffalo Bills tonight. I think the Bills are just too good. What have the Packers shown on offense that they're going to be able to keep up with the Bills scoring? They're not. And they've blown the games to the Jets and stuff. I get it. It's been a weird year in the NFL. I think this is one of the things that will remain true. This is what will remain the way it's supposed to. I think the Bills, I agree with you. I can see it getting out to a 17, 15, 20-point lead for the Bills at some point in this game and ultimately winning by that. Just don't think the Packers have enough. And Allen, like you said, that's a quarterback. That's a chance to one-up Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
We can call it whatever we want. Allen has the weapons. Rodgers, it doesn't matter. One-on-one, Allen versus Rodgers, head-to-head matchup.
Prime time.
Great quarterbacks in the NFL. Prime-time game. I think the Buffalo Bills embarrass them. I think their defense has shown why, if they can hold the Kansas City Chiefs to 21, 24 points, why would they have any trouble holding the Packers and these receivers and containing them? We'll see. Obviously, anything can happen. Yeah, at home on top of it. Anything can happen in the NFL. I don't believe it today. I think the Bills win, and I think they cover.
Anything can happen, and it would be so on par for that to happen. But I've learned one thing over this week, and we talked about it through the first 7 weeks of this season so far. There's been 3 consistent teams in this league so far.
Yep.
Bills are one of them. I have them as the second best. You have them as the first best.
Yep.
There's been 2 consistently bad trends. The Buccaneers and the Packers. Now, I, for Thursday night, was on the other side. Yeah. I watched the Bucs lose to Pittsburgh. Then I watched them lose to the depleted Panthers. And then I said, you know what? They're going to come out tonight and they're going to beat a good Ravens team. Did they do that, Scotty?
Nope.
No. So this is to a
another
much
level,
greater extent. This ain't the Ravens. This is the Bills. It's not in Lambeau like Tampa was. It's on the road. This is going to be a beatdown. Terry, I'm sorry.
The Niners losing today, Terry?
We got the Niners with a loss today. For your sake, I hope we're wrong.
A lot of injuries, Terry. It's Debo. Be hard to overcome
Debo gives the Rams a lot of fits. I don't see how Jimmy G moves the ball for you today. I just do not see a lot of touchdowns being scored for the Niners. All right, Scotty.
Hey, side note from the Packers Buffalo game. Just a funny little story I read this morning about Aaron Rodgers basically FaceTiming Josh Allen last week. While he was at the Padres game, calling him a fair weather Padres fan. Just thought that was interesting. Yeah, he FaceTimed him. They had a whole spiel about Aaron Rodgers giving Josh Allen grief.
So I still like Aaron Rodgers. But he at one point he was like my favorite player in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I had this weird back and forth in my mind with him now because, as you know, he goes on the Pat McAfee show every week, and they're boys. And I'm now with the way things are going in Green Bay, it's not a great look. Part of me watches some of the clips, and it's hilarious. Like AJ Hawk says to him, I've picked you every week. Why am I feeling like I shouldn't pick you this week? And Rodgers basically told him to go fuck himself, like, and with a smile and a laugh, and everyone started laughing. But then at the same time, like, he goes on the show every week while his team's struggling. And no, this is not like Ben Simmons playing video games and, he should be shooting a basketball when he was a Sixer. I'm just pointing out, like, it's just deflecting, and he never answered.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I think he's so checked out of this season and this team right now. So I had this weird back and forth of sometimes it's funny to watch and listen to, but at the same time, he either needs to be more serious or make a change somewhere along the line.
Do they talk mostly about football? I honestly haven't watched it, so I don't know like the context of like what they're talking about.
And they ask him how, like, what's up, like how it is, and he just says not executing, reps, not playing good football, turn the ball over, blah blah blah. But it's just always like fair weather, like we're trying to get things right and blah blah blah. Well, dude, you lost 3 in a row at this point.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I just had this weird
maybe take a break. Maybe take a break from it, after a 3-game losing streak. I don't know. Because the reason I asked that, Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce, they do their weekly pod together, and I love that show. But those guys are just different, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think when I'm listening to them that I'm hearing anything unauthentic or that they don't care about their respective teams. Like, there's no type of language in there like that. They do talk about the games. They break them down. Like, it was fun listening to Travis Kelce break down the loss to the Buffalo Bills. Like, he basically said the Chiefs kind of were soft in that game. They didn't go out and be aggressive. And I thought it was just,
they talk about a lot of other stuff too, as brothers.
They do.
They tell stories
funny.
And talk about skid marks and the Philly Fanatic and a lot of other shit on that show. So it's always funny to see those two. Before we get into our best bets and pigskin picks of the day, DSM Media and Turf Talk is proudly brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of 2 great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft and it shows. Rated the #1 barber shop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area, having multiple award-winning barbers and being able to handle any style of cut, adult or kid. Here's a look at some of Gents' work. Check them out at gentsbarberlounge.com to book your appointment today. Also, check our friends out at Luxton Jewelers at shopluxton.com. Use promo code DSM at checkout for 25% off. Scotty, pigskin picks. Give me your lock of the week.
My lock of the week, who we just spoke about, the Buffalo Bills over the Green Bay Packers. Not only locking them to beat the Packers, I am locking them in to cover as well. I think they're going to come out here and smoke the Packers. I think there's like this underlying feeling of like the Packers as this, they've turned into like this sleeper, this underdog in this situation. That's not the case. They are an underdog, but for rightful reasons, they're in that place. And I think Bills take care of this. That's my lock of the week.
I like it. I'm gonna give a game we did not discuss. Because we will do that in an hour. The Philadelphia Eagles. Scotty.
Okay. Fair enough.
They are not losing today. The Birds will get the 7-0. They're also 10.5 point favorites at home against the Steelers. The Steelers have lost the last 9 games at the Link or in Philadelphia against the Eagles. That doesn't change today with Kenny Pickett. He'll turn the ball over. So come hang out with Scotty, myself, and Phil on the DSM Media YouTube channel at 12 o'clock to break that game down in depth. But that is my lock of the week. What is your upset?
My upset of the week. Let's see here.
Yeah, I know. It's tough, isn't it? There's a lot of pick'ems, 1-point spread, 3-point spreads.
I know. You know what? I actually had it circled on here. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals over the Minnesota
Vikings.
That one. Give them their second loss of the season. We'll see. Vikings can very well win that game, but I have this weird feeling about D-Hop and the Arizona Cardinals today.
You know what? I didn't realize that this team was an underdog at home. I'm going with the New York Jets. Keep that receipt, Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
Jets 3-point dogs at home against the Patriots.
I like that.
Although I do not trust Zach Wilson to not turn the ball over, there's not another game on this slate that I like as an upset more than that one.
No.
Not going with the Bears, not going with the Lions, not going with the Packers. So the Commanders are another team. They're 3-point underdogs on the road in Indy. I like that.
Panthers have any shot?
No.
I
mean, the Falcons aren't, they have a shot, but I do think Atlanta wins that game.
It's not picking Carolina for anything.
No. So those are our pigskin picks of the week, so our lock and upset of the week. Let's get to our best bets today, and these are just some parlays we have. We'll give our Eagles same game parlays on the pregame show. Scotty, I don't have anything locked in right now, but I do have a touchdown score one that I'm looking to lock in. So I need your thoughts on this one and the viewers. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little risky.
What do we got?
Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown scorer today against Houston.
Heavy Derrick Henry day.
No Ezekiel Elliott at home against the Bears. I got Tony Pollard, anytime touchdown scorer. Now, here's the last one.
We're going to agree there.
Chuba Hubbard is out today for Carolina. Deontay Foreman, anytime touchdown scorer for the Panthers against the Falcons. Boosted, that is plus 689 with the 25% touchdown score boost on DraftKings. Do I send it? I'll send it right now with the green light. I love Pollard, and with the backup running back or with the backup quarterback, I do not see Henry not scoring against the Texans today. Deontay Foreman is the kicker here. But
he scored last week.
Yes. Obviously, they traded away CMC. Duh. No Chuba Hubbard. Atlanta's defense is not good. You gotta figure that they find a way to score. And I'm sticking on the ground. I'm not picking DJ Moore to get the ball from PJ Walker today or whatever. I got to go on the ground, right? So we're sending it.
Yeah, I would send it. Because I mean, if you just have to hope that Foreman gets it, because I would honestly,
what'll happen, right?
Derrick Henry
won't score today.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Let me give you mine because I have something fairly similar. I actually have Tony Pollard as well on my anytime touchdown parlay here. I'm with you with Tony Pollard. I like him more than Zeke, quite honestly. From a non-biased standpoint against the Cowboys, I like Tony Pollard as a running back more than Ezekiel Elliott at this point. Not to say that one can't be used better in certain situations. Right. They are situational backs, but I just like Tony Pollard more, and I think he plays well today as the only back. I also have Tyreek Hill against the Detroit Lions. Okay. Detroit Lions, we know, give up a lot of points. Tyreek Hill's due for a touchdown. It's been quite a while. I have him in fantasy. I know you do too. We need to get Tyreek Hill in the end zone against one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
I like that.
And then following along with my upset of the week, I'm going to go ahead with a D-Hop touchdown. He didn't score in his first game back. I think he scores today against the Minnesota Vikings to get D-Hop in the end zone. And that comes out to plus 551. I didn't lay it yet, so I don't have the boosts included with that, but that's before boosts.
I think mine was plus 571. It's boosted to 689, so you're probably around 670, somewhere around there with the boost.
Similar.
Something
right. I may throw yours down too, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, but I actually do.
Need
I like
a W
yours
today.
As well. We need a W.
W today.
Let me give you one more play. This is my this is like my safe 1 p.m. play. So I have Atlanta Falcons plus 7. Tease that one. I have the New York Jets money line. That's the kicker, right? That's the one that makes this go.
A lot of eggs in that basket.
I also, right. I also have the Arizona Cardinals plus 7. I didn't go money line there. I teased it plus 7. This comes out to plus 312. So really, I think the Cardinals can stay within 7. I think the Falcons can do that. I picked the Cardinals to win, right? And I picked the Falcons to win. So I'd imagine they should stay within a touchdown. We need the Jets to get that W for your upset of the week. For my parlay, we need them.
I just jinxed the shit out of your parlay.
I
right?
know.
He's like, he heard my lock and he's like, what the?
I know, bro. Because the Pats are just ready to screw up our money. Yeah. They're ready. They're waiting.
100%, bro.
That one comes out to plus 312. That's where I'm leaning for the 1 p.m. slate, but I don't got much else aside from Eagles, obviously. We'll get into those a little bit later, but those would be my 2 plays.
Oh, that sucks.
What happened?
I didn't realize I thought Derrick Henry was a 1 p.m. game. So I got 2 in the 1 o'clock slot, and he's 4:05.
That's so annoying when that happens, man.
Now, if I hit the first 2, I got to wait for him to get in at 4 o'clock.
To get those funds, I know.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. Hopefully we can win some money today. But guys, that is going to wrap up this Sunday edition of NFL Turf Talk live here on DSM Media. You can find us on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that follow button. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And for those of you watching or that's going to watch us and do not know, we are doing a massive DSM Media YouTube giveaway at the moment. You can find that video pinned to our Twitter account. You can also find the video on our YouTube channel. All you have to do, subscribe to DSM Media on YouTube, comment hashtag DSM on that YouTube video that we have posted, and you will be entered for a chance to win a Bryce Harper World Series Pets jersey once we surpass the 800 subscriber mark. And then the next contest will run all the way through November 27th for a pair of Eagles tickets, depending on which tier we hit between 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers, and 2,000 subscribers. We will be giving away either tickets, 50-yard line tickets, or suite level tickets. So incentive for you guys, hit that subscribe button and tell your friends, tell your family, and get entered. It's free. We try to do multiple giveaways throughout the year, so this will not be the final one. But this is by far the biggest one, and all we're asking for is a little subscription, right, Scotty?
Yep, that is correct. And what I'm doing right now, give me 1 second. I'm getting the video itself pulled up here just so we can drop the link in the comments here, just so they have that right at their click. Let me mute myself just in case the video plays. Good.
So yeah, guys, I mean, in all reality, why would you not do it? If you're a Philly fan, why would you not do it? Okay, it's free. It's any YouTube subscription, and not just for the giveaway. We have multiple shows streaming live or pre-recorded on DSM Media's YouTube channel every single day of the week almost, and a lot of great content coming out for DSM. So check out the video that Scotty's dropping in the link right now. Hit subscribe, comment hashtag DSM, and you will be entered for a chance to win. Scotty, that's going to wrap up this Sunday edition. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM Media. Have a great rest of your day.